Grab your popcorn and snacks. Find a comfy spot, take a seat or lie down, and let me transport you to a place of fantasy, ghost stories, ancient legends, odd creatures, alien encounters, and other magical topics. You may even decide to join the conversation. From faraway lands to your own backyard, with a small dash of pixie dust, turn out the lights and open your minds. The journey is about to begin. Well, hey everybody, sorry about that. Welcome. It's Thursday in California Haunts Radio. We've got a great guest tonight. I'm so excited. She's a photographer. I'm a photographer. We can talk a little shop here, but her photography is a little different than my photography. Her name is Lily Nova, and she's out taking pictures at night and stuff, and she's not only picking up beautiful planets, she's picking up other things, and we're going to be talking about that shortly. Anyway, my name is Charlotte. I'm going to be your host for the next hour. I am also the owner of the California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team, based out of Sacramento, California. You can find us at CaliforniaHaunts.org. Or if you're looking for the radio show, you can find us at CaliforniaHauntsRadio.com. Too much California Haunts, right? Anyway, I'm trying to get back. I don't think we're on Facebook tonight. There's some kind of error going on, and I don't know what the problem is. Go live. Okay. We're just going live on Facebook. There was some kind of error. So for the people just coming on, I'm sorry. There was an issue with Facebook tonight. Who knows? It's the great gods of the internet. Anyway, we're live now. So my name is Charlotte. I'm the owner of the California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team, based out of Sacramento, California. We're 45 strong up and down the state, and we're here to help you. If you think you have a paranormal problem going on in your house, send me an email via the radio show or CaliforniaHaunts.org, and we'll get out there and help you. With the 45 people, we're all over the state and almost every county. And if we're not in your county, we'll get somebody out there to help you out. All right. And if you're watching from YouTube tonight, terrific. Be sure to subscribe. We're looking for subscribers on YouTube. And you can do that by clicking on the little ghost with the Sherlock Holmes hat on. And he's also got a magnifying glass. So click on that ghost and come on over and subscribe. YouTube shows us no love. We have a good show, but it seems like the algorithm just kind of craps on us. So hopefully, the more of you that subscribe and watch the show, the better things will be. And I know people are catching up now because we weren't live, and I didn't realize we weren't live for the first 5 minutes. I apologize. Anyway, tonight, again, Lily Nova is going to be with us, and I'm really excited. She sent me some photos. She sent me some video. And we're going to get to see those tonight. And I'm also going to, after the show's over, after I upload this thing for the podcast, I'm also going to post everything she sent me onto the website. So you guys can go over there and check that out. But I'm really excited. So without further ado, let's bring my guest on and talk to her about what's been going on with her. Because, I've always thought about this and not turning it into a joke or anything. But, when I'm up in the mountains and stuff and I'm looking up, and I'm thinking about taking, I've done star trail photos in the past, and I've always thought, maybe I'm looking up too much and stuff. And the funny thing is, and don't take it the wrong way, Lily, the original Sims games that they had for computer, if you guys remember the Sims, because now they have like Sims Free Play and all that. It was funny because at one point they give you a telescope, and your Sim gets really into using this telescope. And the inevitable happens. All of a sudden, this beam of light comes down. Sim gets sucked up, disappears for a couple days. And then when they come back, they're never the same because they got abducted by aliens. So, when I think about when I'm out there, because I have a telescope too, but when I think about when I'm out there, like doing what Lily does, being out there at night, that's what I think about. I'm just out there just waiting for that beam to come down and suck me up. But it's just funny. I'm not trying to degrade what Lily's experiences at all, because that's not where I'm going with this show. But I just wanted to say that because every time I like hearing her being out there, taking these photos and shooting this video, that's what I think of, because it was just so funny. Because like I said, once they beamed back down, they were never the same. Anyway, I'm going to shut up before I make more of an ass of myself. And let's bring Lily on and talk to her and find out her background and stuff. Hello.
Hi. How's it going?
Good. I'm sorry I had to say that. I've been thinking about that all day. Yeah.
No, seriously, I loved The Sims, and that was like one of my favorite parts was looking
Let's
through
put
the
out
telescope and getting abducted. I always wondered, like, where did they go? They usually came back feeling really happy.
Yeah, and that was the funny thing. They never acted the same. But I knew it because I was a late bloomer to get on The Sims. And so you read all the forums online, and I thought, well, where's my telescope? Dang it, I want to get abducted. And sure enough, boom, up I went.
Yep.
So that's what I think. And then when I read what happened to you, I thought, oh my God, it's almost like The Sims. You were out there and you got so fascinated doing your photography, and then all of a sudden you're seeing weird stuff in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, the first time that I saw one, I thought a beam was about to come down on me. It went right above my head, and I just kind of froze for a second, expected a beam to come down. It didn't. Nothing. It was gone. But yeah, I thought I was going to get beamed up the first time.
I mean, you can look up, you see satellites and stuff, but I mean, you can pretty much, and I've seen stuff myself, and you can pretty much tell the difference, what's not an airplane, what's not a satellite, because it doesn't act the same way when you see
Right.
stuff. So let's hear
Right.
your story. What's your background? You're a photographer. In fact, your studio I saw that photo of your studio. It looks similar to my studio that I have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, I took my mom's old bedroom and painted the floor, black, and then did the walls gray and did the ceiling in a dark gray, and I did that way with the backdrops, and I'm almost set up for that stuff at the table, the
Awesome.
commercial work and all that stuff, and with the box and all that. So it looks a lot similar to your studio. And
Yeah, so that was a classroom that I had. So before this, I am a nutritionist, and I was doing health and nutrition content
mhm.
and teaching cooking and nutrition classes. And then whenever COVID happened, I've always been artistic. I've always loved space. I've always loved photography and painting and stuff like that. But after COVID happened, and it's locked down, so I just went all in on astrophotography
So
and
cool.
fell in love with it. Yeah, I just fell in love with it. And then the UFOs came, and I had never been the same ever since. So.
There you were flying along, enjoying your hobby, and then they came.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been a really interesting past 2 years, year and a half, really. I feel like
Do
I've got
you
the crash course in it all, really.
And you've gotten good stuff,
Hmm.
really good stuff. And this isn't, guys, this isn't somebody who's out there with a cheap camera either. I mean, you got some decent equipment that you're going out with, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a Nikon DSLR camera, a D5300, and I also sometimes use an Aurora Psionics night vision camera. I've caught some stuff on there too.
Well, that's the thing, because a lot of this stuff people catch on cell phones, and it's not very clear. But the stuff yeah, wow, you made my eyes pop open. I wasn't able to get all the photos on here, but I'll tell you, I'm going to put them on my website tonight because it's just incredible the stuff you got.
Thank
Um,
you.
you live in Missouri, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And do you live in a rural area, or is it more a city area, or where do you live?
I live near St. Louis, which is
Okay.
pretty like heavily populated. But about 20 to 25 minutes away, there's an astronomy park. And it's near kind of like a wildlife reserve, a park. So it's a little more rural. There's cornfields all around it. So you can kind of see the Milky Way out there. So that's only about 25 minutes away. So
So that's cool. Yeah, because I was going to say it, because I live in a housing area, just outside of the city of Sacramento, and I know it was funny because we used to have a house up north, and I was, like I said, I've had a couple telescopes over the years, and I could find my way around really well because you don't have a lot of darkness. I go up to
mhm.
the hills and I'm like, where the hell am I?
Yeah.
You can't find nothing. So yeah, that's why I wanted to find out, because if you're doing astrophotography, obviously you want to be in an area where you can at least get the Milky Way and stuff to get those photos.
Yeah, I'd say if you go an hour out from the city, you're good. Most of the time. Sometimes even if you go, if you can also look for astronomy parks if there's any in your area. Those are actually usually pretty decent, and it's like this one is a 24-hour park, so it's always open. And I was kind of surprised whenever I came across it, and I think a lot of states have those too. But if you don't have one of those, just kind of pulling up a map. There's something called a dark sky map where it shows you how dark the skies are, and you
That's
can kind
cool.
of just so you can kind of just pick a dark spot and go try it out.
See, I'm going to be taking notes on all this after the show. I'll tell you that right now. Like I said, if it's okay after the show, I want to pick your brain a little bit too, because I
Yeah,
want to start getting into that type of photography.
yeah.
I had a big telescope, and I hate to say it, I gave it to a friend to clean up and never got it back, and I had like
Oh
a 10
no.
inch. So now I'm back to a 4 inch. So whatever, But I have a strong enough camera to deal with that with astrophotography anyway. So you got
Yeah,
the
that's good.
D53. I got the D3400. So I mean,
Really?
it's the lower level one, but still,
Yeah, no,
still
that's
use that
good. I
stuff.
actually bought a D3300 from a friend of mine. It
Mhm.
ended up I took it to Utah with me on an astro trip, and it knocked over and like broke. So I was really bummed out about that. But I did a little bit of research on like the 3300, and those other versions are still really good for astrophotography.
Oh yeah, I've taken
Mhm.
pictures of the moon that are really really nice. Like during
Mhm.
the eclipses and stuff. So I'm kind
Mhm.
of I really want to lean to get into that part
Mhm.
of it, because I am a journalist. I'm a photojournalist is what I am.
Awesome.
And so,
That's awesome.
after my mother passed, I just intended to open a studio to either shoot portraits or, like I do video, in the other studio and everything. This
Mhm.
this is my sound booth. So yeah,
That's
you know.
awesome.
So tell me about how all this. I mean, you started to go out to take photos. So was
Mhm.
it a gradual thing that you started to get visitations, or how did this work?
Mm, so I'd say, well, I found out that you could take photos of the Milky Way, and then I just went crazy about it, and I started going out there like every night. And I'd say after a couple months, maybe a few months of doing that, like head like full force, just in it, is when I had my first encounter. And then after that, the first encounter that I had was actually on the front porch of my house. I wasn't even out stargazing. I just stepped outside in the middle of the night and looked up to the sky, and I see a hovering craft. I bust out my phone after I realized that's not a plane, that's not a planet, that's like actually something hovering around the neighborhood. And so I grabbed my phone, started recording it. An orange light appeared at the end of my street, this orange glowing light, which is really odd. And so I looked over at it for a second, and whenever I looked back, a second craft had appeared, and it was much closer. I was bending my neck looking up at it. It was like a diamond shape. I could see the blue and red lights going across it.
Mm-hmm.
And it went up, down, side to side really quickly, and then like it was showing me its moves, like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, this is real. And then it came straight to me and vanished above my head. And yeah, it was a very close encounter. I was shaking. Like, I realized afterwards my phone was still recording. The video is not great because it's dark, but you can
Sure.
see a spot where it is, and you can see it move really fast. So I came across that a couple weeks later, and I was like, okay, I was not hallucinating. That really happened, and you can hear me shaking. It was a really paradigm shifting. I think after that, they gave me a little bit of time to integrate that and come to terms with that. And I'd say maybe like a month later, I had my second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th encounters within like a 2 week span. I was seeing them every day.
Wow. I know I've got a friend that walks her dog every night and every early morning, and she says that she's got lights that follow her,
Oh,
when she's
wow.
walking the dog. But see, we both have had the one instance where we were on the freeway and lost time.
Oh, wow.
We ended up in another town like an hour and a half later, so we still don't know
No
what happened to that.
way.
And I remember even working when I was used to work out in a rural area, and I drive from the city and stuff. I would see stuff out my window all the time.
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. But see, what I feel, and I'm not taking anything away from the amateur photographers that that take these photos, but being a photographer like you are, I hate to say it's more credible because you're going to think, hey, yeah, I need to get my camera. I'm going to focus. I'm going to come out tomorrow night. I'm going to have the camera ready. I'm going to focus on these bad boys. So to me, it makes it a lot more credible when somebody like you sees stuff like this because you know how to set up to take the photos.
Yeah, exactly. And I honestly, I immediately knew when they started showing up. And I spent a full night surrounded by them. My second encounter ever. I was at the astronomy park by myself. I was in my car because I was kind of spooked out. There's nothing but cornfields around me. And I had saw like a hovering light above the tree line. And I was like, is that one of those? And a little bit later, just suddenly I'm sitting in my car. It's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. It was like 1:50 a.m. exactly, I think. And suddenly I look back up and I make contact with a hovering light. And then that's when I realized, like, my intuition hit me like that. There it is. It's back. And then I looked around. There was another one in the other direction. There's another one in that direction. There was another one in that direction. And there were lights in front of me that were not in front of me before, like in the tree lines.
Wow.
It was. And I was, I think they worked it out perfectly though. Because I was too afraid to leave because I'm surrounded now and I didn't know if they knew that I was there. But now I know that they knew I was there. They did it on purpose. But so I just started recording them until the sun started coming up. And then I was like obsessed. I became like a UFO investigator. And so really I get pretty lucky with these. And it's also very intentional. I believe that they want me to show this footage to people, is what I'm trying to say.
When you talk about they communicate with you, how do they do that?
Well, at first it was just kind of a bunch of guessing. And I remember going out on walks after that happened and thinking like, just feeling like they were trying to tell me something. And I just remember going out on walks and just talking to them like, I don't know if you can hear me, but is this what you want me to do? Do you want me to show people these, And then they started kind of replying. It took a little bit of time, but they would show me kind of like, there would be like signs and synchronicities, just things would happen. Actually, and this is kind of weird, and this is a little paranormal too. I was sitting at my desk one day and wondering, okay, what do they want from me? Do they want me? Are they trying to make do they want me to make contact with them? And then this picture flew down at my feet, and it was the picture of David touching, the David and touching the God.
Yeah.
And that I had that picture, and it just flew right at me, and I picked it up, and I was like, oh. So I don't know how they moved that, but something did.
Wow.
Yeah. So stuff like that started happening. They've also appeared as orbs around me too. And I sent you that picture of a light being. A lot of this stuff we just can't see with our eyes.
Right.
Yeah, but the camera can pick it up. So
well, my question is, have you had psychic abilities in the past or?
Oh, okay, the psychic abilities. So I've always been very intuitive and empathetic. I can feel, sensitive to energy. But I didn't start having visions. So since the UFO started coming, I actually started receiving visions, like telepathically from them. And that's how I get a lot of my information now, is through, like, they'll send me a picture of it. And it like comes equipped with like a full description and like a feeling just automatically. So before this, I was not having visions. And then after this, I am having visions. So, and boosting your intuition has been really just very, very important and very key in this, because that's how it's like you can pick up on those more subtle energies, and we all have the ability to be telepathic and psychic. We all have psychic abilities. We just have to practice them. It's like a muscle.
I've always felt that with people, because like you say, you know, at some point after we're young, we don't use those abilities, that they kind of get hidden away. But I've you know, the people I've talked to that have been abducted or been involved, you know, been in contact, that's what I've been thinking, is that once you, it's like anything else, like as a ghost hunter for me and my abilities, it didn't come out till I was ghost hunting, because I was around other psychics.
Yeah.
So when you get around the aliens and they're sending you thoughts, that intuitive stuff is going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to be in contact that way with them. I just find your case so interesting in that, you know, this is what was going on, and you're so brave. I mean,
thank you.
You know, I would have been like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, there was a few times where I was like, but the curiosity just overrode any fear for me. Yeah, and I realized it was like, well, there was one night where I went basically chasing them around. I was like, I know they're up there. I had my camera with me. I was like, the clouds are doing something weird. Suddenly it turned like red, and I ended up having one that appeared right above me. I was like, I knew something weird was in the spots of these clouds. So I was just recording like that area. And then just right above me, 3 lights appeared right above my head. It was super cloudy. So they just kind of dropped just enough to let me know that they were right above me. And I'm recording at the time. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording in that exact spot. That would have been freaking awesome.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that would have been awesome. But you can hear me say, I come in peace. I come in peace. I was kind of like spooked, but I was curious. I was
Don't
more
hurt me. I come in peace, I swear.
Yeah. And I was and after that night I knew that that they were cool, and if they wanted to pick me up or hurt me, they would have done so by then.
So what kind of messages do they send you? Like you said, sometimes you see a picture of what they want to send you. So what are they sending you exactly?
They've sent me all sorts of things. They've sent me things about, they've showed me Atlantis. They've showed me prehistoric times. They've showed me dinosaurs and flying saucers. So that they've shown me back different time periods. They've shown me like Mars and the moon in different ET races.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was that kicked it up to a whole new level. Probably about like 4 or 5 months in, I had my first initiated contact with them, where instead of me just being out and kind of wondering if they're going to pop up, like I went out with the intention, I'm going to initiate contact with them. And I had somebody with me too, which was awesome. Somebody else got to see it. We go to the astronomy park, set the intention. Within 5 minutes of sending that out, a golden orb appeared, and it started, and it was super cloudy. It was even like sprinkling a little bit. So this golden, I actually got pictures of it. It might be one of the ones that I sent you, but that's when I got my first telepathic vision. It sent me the woman who was manning it, essentially, and she had light blue skin and no hair, and she was very beautiful though, and she had like a Star Trek looking kind of silver space outfit on. And then that just kicked it up to a whole new level, and really made it personal, because I was able to contact them and finally got to see what they look like. So,
wow. So
yeah.
She wasn't one of the small grays then. She
No.
was a different one. Okay.
No, I've seen some of the small grays too. I've seen different types of grays. I've seen a tall, slender gray with a dress on. Like, I've seen them a few times like that, where they have dresses on. It's kind of interesting. You wouldn't expect it to be wearing a dress.
Maybe because they're trying to make you feel more relaxed.
Maybe.
You know, that would be creepy. Don't come out with a dress. Wow. Okay.
Well, maybe they're women too. You know.
Well, maybe, yeah. It's just kind of. I have that picture in my head now. Thank you.
I drew it. Yeah, I drew it too, because I was like, that was kind of strange. I'm going to draw that.
Yeah, that's kind of out there, you know.
Yeah.
So do you think that you've been taken and you don't realize it?
Um, I think I have had contact whenever I was younger.
Mhm.
I don't feel like I've ever been like taken like against my will. But actually a story that just keeps popping that I want to dig into more and what I've been wanting to ask them about to like show me, tune in psychically about it.
Right.
But whenever I was little, probably like 4 or 5 or 6 years old, my mom came downstairs in the middle of the night, and I was in the kitchen alone, and I was on like my hands and knees on the ground, and I pointed over at the wall and I said, "They went right through there, Mom," and was pointing at the wall. And she freaked. She was like, "What did you just say?" Like, she didn't know if it was something like paranormal or what, but it was really creepy.
Mhm.
And thinking back on it now, I do believe that I have had visitations since I was young.
More than likely, yeah. This is very interesting, and I still think you're very you're very brave too. I mean, I think I'd be the same way though. I'd be fascinated watching them, but as they got closer, then I'd start
Mhm.
getting a little freaked out because who knows what's going to happen when they're literally on top. Like you stood there, with the phone right on top of you.
Yeah, they haven't really appeared to me. I mean, I've caught photographs of that light being the silhouette. I
Right.
didn't even see that with my eyes. I could feel them, but I
Mhm.
couldn't. I didn't know that was standing right in front of me. So a lot of the times, whenever they appear, it's through telepathic vision. They'll show
Okay.
me
Sure.
through like while I'm meditating,
Mhm.
or they'll appear as orbs or as like a silhouette on the camera. But I haven't had one, at least not that I remember yet, just walk right up to me, like physical skin to skin. So I
Fascinating.
think that, yeah, I think they're careful. They don't want to like freak you out. They're kind of giving you in like doses that you can handle. So
You haven't
um,
had any loss of time or anything like that, have you?
mm-mm.
Not yet.
And that type of thing has kind of like bothered me with so now I share about this, and I teach people, and just share my story and talking to other people and how
Mhm.
so many others are having these experiences
Mhm.
or feel like they feel drawn, they feel connected to the stars, they feel like there's something out there but they don't know what exactly it is.
Mhm.
um, and all of this is just beginning to awaken, and it's really beautiful. But I know that people have had mixed reviews. People have had some negative stories, some positive stories, and that really bothered me at first because I have such a positive experience
Mhm.
with them. And to hear about some of the other like nasty things. So I think there's different agendas out there.
Mhm.
I think a majority of the beings are positive beings, and maybe
Sure.
they are just checking on us, or we may have some sort of an agreement, made with them.
Sure.
And so that's it. And they kind of keep us in the dark about it because maybe we couldn't handle it yet. But and that's,
Mhm.
we're slowly starting to kind of awaken up to that as we evolve. Um, so yeah, but I believe most of them are positive, but I do think there are some rotten eggs out there too.
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. I've got some
Just like
photos.
people.
I got some photos you sent. I didn't put them all up. For some reason, Carell was deciding it was going to bend everything out of shape, and I had to do a readjustment at the last minute. So I got the photos up, and you guys can check
Awesome.
these photos out. And here's one here.
The two black triangles.
That's incredible.
It doesn't. It looks like there's like a slit in a portal opening up. Um,
Right.
this this photo happened. So I was shooting a time lapse. So I was taking consecutive photos,
Hmm.
and they can appear and disappear so fast that they may only be in like one frame or 2 frames or 3 frames. I think that they can literally just manifest out of thin air. And that would make sense. Everybody says, it was just right there and then it's gone. They can do that. So I think it's interesting that slit. It's like
That
maybe
is
some sort
interesting
of
right
portal.
there. See, at first I thought it had like a tail on it, but I mean, yeah, now that you say that yeah, it does.
Mhm,
That's very interesting. We have another
mhm.
one. Let's see what we got. Oh, same one. See that? I was uploading fast because whatever went wrong with Corel. I apologize. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That one's super good.
That's my favorite.
Wow.
That is my favorite one. Yeah. This was during what they call CE5. That's just kind of like the coined term for humans initiating contact with them. So you can do this by like meditation. Often for me, my routine would be I would just go out and, initiate, want to connect with them and set up my camera. And that's kind of my thing. And I tell them, okay, I'm recording now, or okay, I'm taking pictures if you'd like to appear in front of the camera. And then I went up and I sat down and meditated, and I caught that. And I caught that one in 3 different photos, and it looks different in each photo.
That is just too cool.
Yeah, that's one of the best ones.
You could even see like fire underneath there, like the propulsion on it.
Yeah, there's something different going on with it.
Sure. Wow. And that was during the day, so you're seeing this stuff during the day and at night, right? Or is this with the infrared?
Yeah, this is during the day. So at first I was doing it mostly at night. And then after I realized that I could initiate contact with them and be intentional, I started going out for sunset shoots. So like every day I would grab my camera. And this is how they started. Sometimes they'd appear like ships like that. Sometimes they'd appear as orbs. And different things like that. But so I really liked catching them. You can catch them during the day. You most definitely can. And I've instructed people to point even their cell phone at the sun. And, if you ask for them to appear, I've had people that just orbs of light, ships by the sun. So give it a shot.
Wow. Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, this is some neat stuff. I'm going to post a bunch of I'm going to post them on like I said, on the website. That is cool. That's definitely cool. That is not an airplane, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. That beam of light, that was wild. That was the one that was right in front of me. Can you? I don't know if you can see it. But it's like the 3 white dots and then a beam of light comes from it. If that's the same video.
I got the video.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That was the one that was right in front of me at that astronomy park when I was looking around. Yeah. So I was recording that one for a while, and I'm so grateful that it gave me a beam of light because nothing else could have done that. So that was nice of them to give me that.
Okay, so we have some video. Make sure I don't have doubles of that because that would suck, wouldn't it? I knew it. That was happening because I was doing it at the last minute. Once I fixed Corel, I was trying to jam all these through.
And there's a car coming. What are they gonna do? Oh my god, they look closer than the car.
Yeah, that one freaked me out because it was getting kind of close. There was a group. It was a group of orbs that just joined in the field right near me, and it is really interesting. Because if you'll zoom in on them or just kind of like watch, they behave different than anything else. Anything of ours, they behave very differently. So,
wow. Well, was the bright light one of them too, or was that the car? Because you were talking about a car coming.
Yeah. The one that appeared and passed, that was a car.
Okay.
So a car had.
And there's a car coming. What are they gonna do? Oh my god, they look closer than the car.
What gets me is to think that they're that low too.
Yeah, that one was a weird one. It was very low and it was very close. It was in like this field right next to me, and I was surprised that, like a car that happened like a couple different times, and it like still like stayed there, was kind of like hovering there and didn't move. But I guess it knew the car wasn't gonna probably see it. But
Right.
yeah.
Wow. Another one.
Ah, there's the beam.
Wow. I'm gonna look at that again. That's just. Yeah, that's no military jet there. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I say that is wow, but it is wow. Especially when I was going through these, it was like the whole time I was like, wow, look at this, look at this, look at this.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
And you shot that on your cell phone?
That one, I think that one was on my cell phone actually.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these I've caught on my phone too.
Wow.
So yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Another one here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was the first encounter ever. So it kept going out of focus, but I kept recording, and near the end, you can hear it's like breaking the wind.
Is that what that is? I thought it was the airplane.
No, that was the craft breaking the
Wow.
wind, and then you see it. You just see a white light appear kind of in the center, and after you hear the wind pick up really fast, and then it goes up, down, side to side, really quickly. But yeah, it took a second for you to be able to like see it, but
That's
yeah.
cool. That is really cool. I got one more here, and let's see. Oh, it might be the same one. Hang on. You know how I am about this. These are incredible, and like I said, you guys, I'll have more of them up on the website for people to look at. Why do you think they chose you?
I think that, well, I had a camera was a big portion of it. And finding out about something like this, I wasn't going to keep my mouth shut. So, I want to just share that with people. And I also feel like I have had contact. I didn't really know much about reincarnation and things like this before this, but I believe that I have had contact with these beings in other lifetimes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
And how long a time period have you been having this contact? I mean, you started with COVID, right? Are you still going out at night doing this stuff?
So it's kind of evolved. So I was like, for the first like 6 months to a year, I was like going out like every day. Around this winter, around Christmas, I was doing night streaming, then doing live group like CE5s where we would get together I was doing it live on TikTok. I might do it on YouTube live too. But where we'd stream the sky, and then we'd get some orbs that come up and stuff. But then it got really cold. So lately I've been more so like meditating and kind of connecting with them inside. But now that the weather's getting better, I will definitely be back out there, and I talk to them probably like, or at least acknowledge them or connect with them in some way every day. So
So do you think that meditation's a big part of it?
meditation has helped so much. Yeah. I wasn't meditating whenever this all started, but I was out stargazing. And whenever you're out in nature, you really get in tune with, and you get in a relaxed state. I didn't start meditating until after that golden orb had sent me a vision and I saw that lady. Then I was like, whoa, I've never seen anything like that before. I want to see more of that. So then I started meditating and began practicing meditation. And I encourage people to try it. To, you may receive some vision too. You may have some cosmic family that you are connected to, that and meditating is a great way to connect with them.
Do you think people should be afraid of them?
I don't think so. I think that kind of the media or a lot of the scary movies have, made a great show out of it being very negative. And I do think it's just like with humans, there may be some, maybe not bad apples, but people who they have their own interests first. They're not, you get what I'm trying to say? Their interest comes first, not yours. So I think that there are some who are like that. But I think a majority of them, I'd say 99% of them, are very positive, very highly evolved. They've got a higher level of consciousness. They understand things more. Their science looks like magic to us. And they're very evolved. So we could learn a lot from them.
What do you have to say to somebody who wants to go out and do this? I mean, do you give encouragement, or what tips do you have?
Yeah, for sure. Stargazing is wonderful. Looking up is wonderful. If you spend like 10 minutes a night looking up in the sky, you will eventually see something. I can promise you that. And if you set that intention out there and, you got to put a little bit of time and effort into it, and just ask. It seems to be that the universe is always listening, and ask, believe, receive is what I've come to, is what my experience has been with it. So spend a little bit of time looking up. You can try meditation if you'd like. Highly, highly recommend meditation. And just getting out in nature, enjoying it.
Absolutely. So when you go out, I mean, you take your gear out there. How long does it take to get set up and get things going? And can people do this without expensive gear?
Yeah, of course. So you can catch some things with just on your cell phone, especially if you do a daytime CE5 or daytime initiated contact with them, and point it near the sun. That'd be a good tip. Just point it at the sun, ask for them to appear, and then play back the footage and see what you get. So that doesn't take like hardly any time, or you don't have to buy anything extra. For nighttime, it may be a little bit more difficult to get footage on your cell phone, but really the experience is just 10 out of 10. The experience is the best part. Getting photographic evidence is just kind of a plus. But yeah, I highly recommend it. It's life-changing. It's very transformative. So for me personally, going out to getting set up could take me like an hour if I were to set up all my camera and everything. But really, you could just get binoculars, like, just a pair of binoculars. You don't need a fancy camera or anything. And yeah, that should be good. A blanket to lay on, and then just start looking up and see what happens.
When you're looking at these craft and they start coming toward you, are you looking to see what shape they are? I mean, I know it's hard if they're up high, but I mean, like the triangular ones you saw during the day and all that. Mm-hmm. Are you able to make that out at night? What shape these craft are?
No, yeah, at night, they look more like lights. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, or they look like orbs of light. So yeah, it's definitely harder. The first one that I saw, that one was really, really close. It was like a few houses down, so I could see the whole. It was like a diamond craft with 2 layers of lights right in the middle of it. But besides that, a majority of the ones at night, they looked like just like balls of light, color changing sometimes, or like orbs or something like that.
Well, like that last one, that one that was on your porch. I mean, when the other one shows up, if it is the other one, it shows up as red. I saw that. It had more of a red tint to it. So what colors have you seen, as far as those go? Because, normally people think about the white lights, but what colors have you seen?
I've seen orange, seen quite a few orange ones. I've seen whitish blue and some like color changing ones where it was kind of like almost like a disco ball of different colors. I've seen quite a few like that as well. So orange, blue, white, kind of like disco ball color changing, kind of like twinkling, all these different colors. But they can definitely come in like any color.
I've seen something like that.
The disco ball.
It was hovering, and at that time, I thought about the Goodyear blimp, because it used to have all those colors on it. But it looked like it was rotating and it had multiple colors.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That. I must have been about like 12, but I remember seeing something like that, as a kid. Have you checked with your neighbors and people like in your area to see if they've had sightings as well, or you just want to try and keep it quiet around them?
So, I mean, I was loud about it at first because I was freaking out because I was like, why am I seeing so many all of a sudden? Like I'd never seen one before in my life. And then suddenly it's left and right, and nobody really took me seriously. But now they do, because I've been able to like capture evidence of it. And it's just like a known fact now, like they're here, get over it. But I don't know if you've ever heard of MUFON. It's just Mutual UFO. I contacted them and reported some of my sightings to them. Apparently, I live in kind of a hot spot. Missouri's kind of a hot spot for it. But they hit me back pretty quickly, and they were like, your cases are very peculiar. Like that's a lot. They were worried that I had been abducted because the encounters were so close. But no abduction. And now that I'm finding more people who are interested in this, and more people are seeing them every day. So
right,
yeah.
Saying here, were you ever? Oh, Jerry wants to know if you were ever scared.
I was scared in the beginning, yes. But very, like I said, the curiosity outweighed any fear. So I felt like a deep calling to want to learn more about them. So.
Well, when you say you haven't been abducted, that's that you know of.
Yeah, that I know of. I think I have had lifelong contact, though. I think I have seen them before. Yeah,
because usually a lot of the stories that I know of, with people that do have consistent contact like you are, it's happened before. They come back. You might even have a thing inside your body where they can find you right away too, which would be kind of creepy.
Yeah. So with the beings that I've connected with, and I would just like to share this.
Sure.
Connecting with them feels like overwhelming love. Like literally, I would start crying and bawling my eyes out whenever during like the sunset shoots. I'd be taking pictures and video, and they would appear, and I could start like sensing messages from them. It just felt like overwhelming love, like a very pure, unconditional love. And that's what, if you are wanting to connect with beings, that's the type of connection that you want. You want to have a very loving, connection. So yeah, so I it's not like a fearful thing, although I won't discount that those things aren't out there.
Right.
But yeah, the connection that I have with them, and the connection that it's a very spiritual thing. Very spiritual, what I'm finding. So yeah, they're very, very loving, benevolent, and you just want to be specific that you want to connect with loving, benevolent beings. And then you're good.
Yeah. Do they have they given you any messages for us at all?
Yeah. Well, they've been involved with humanity for quite a while, and many of these beings, or many of these times that we see UFOs, they're actually somehow connected to us, somehow our star family. And that's where that like loving, just that love comes from. But and things are changing on Earth a lot right now, so it looks pretty chaotic and messy, but it's a part of the process. Things will get better. And helping to just kind of spread awareness about all of this, help to evolve the consciousness, is really what I'm actively working on. Because and we can have world peace. We can have peace on Earth, and that's what they are here to help us achieve. And part of how we do that is honestly by going inward and getting to know ourselves better.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously now that it's getting warmer, you're probably going to go out more
Mm-hmm.
and do this. Are you going to change places, or are you just going to keep hanging out in the same spots?
I might change it up a little bit here and there. I like going out by a lake. And then there's an astronomy park I like going to.
Sure.
Sometimes I'll change it up and go a little bit more rural, a little bit, deeper and darker skies. But yeah, there's some spots that have been working out pretty good for me.
That's awesome. And do you generally go out alone when you do this?
Sometimes it's kind of like 50-50. Yeah, I'd say about 50-50. During the daytime ones, yes. Sometimes nighttime one, I have other astrophotographers with me, or somebody else with me.
I'd be kind of. I'm just looking at it from my point. I'd be kind of leery about going out by myself at night to do something like this, because who knows?
Yeah.
It might be your time to get beamed up for all you know. But they seem with you that they just seem like they're as curious about you as you are about them.
Yeah, I think so. I feel so. Mm-hmm.
And
they have never disrespected me in any way or anything like that either. So
right.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they come in contact with you, I mean, is it like an instantaneous thing where it's not like you hear a distant voice and then you realize they're in contact, or is it just like, oh wow, there's a picture in my head of something?
So a lot of times it can just be kind of like very instant, like just sudden information that just pops in your head. So a lot of time it can be like that. And boosting your intuition and your psychic senses helps you to be able to pick up on the more subtle ones. But and often, or maybe I'll get like a nudge to either go outside, or a nudge to close my eyes and meditate, and then then they'll start sending me images or information that way. Yeah.
And the other thing we have to point out too with astrophotography, because I've done star trails. And what people don't realize with astrophotography, it's not go out and snap a picture. You have to set the camera up so that you're on a long exposure, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's astrophotography. It's kind of it's one of the more tough, photographies out there. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it for sure.
A lot of planning. I know what I used to do back in the old days. With the extra release on the camera. I used to get the ones that had the air bulb on them. And then what I would do is I would roll it up in my window in my car, and then I'd go have coffee and stuff in the car.
Oh wow!
Never sit there, And then after about 35-40 minutes, roll the window down, and that was it. The shutter would close. So that's why I'm curious to know how to do it with a digital camera, because I've never used a digital camera out, with a remote thing like that. What do you think is the best thing about being out there and being in contact with whatever you're in contact with?
They've taught me a lot. They've showed me kind of a lot of things where humanity's always been like curious about. And so it's just been really enlightening. And just knowing that there's something else out there, having this deep feeling that there is something else out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's been very transformative and just a blessing to be able to actually be in the forefront of learning what that truly is and what that truly means. So yeah, it's been a very beautiful experience.
And you have a website with these photos, correct?
Yeah, lilynovaspaceart.com. Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. I was looking at your site. I mean, wow.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. That's why I want to learn to do all that stuff. I'm jealous. But do you live alone or are you married?
I have a boyfriend.
And what does he think of all this?
So he's actually an astrophotographer too.
Okay.
But at first he didn't believe me about the UFOs.
Okay.
So it took him a little bit. Now he's like, now he gets it. But at first, yeah. But it's cool because he's in love with space too, and he he's passionate about going out and taking all these astrophotography and all these other things. So that's why it works out. It complements. I'm out there doing my UFO thing, and he's out there doing space thing. We're both doing the space thing. So
it's your side gig.
Yeah. So it works out.
What do you do for a side gig, Lily? Oh, I take pictures of ETs. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Has anybody ever like I say, I'm not trying to turn it into a joke. Don't get the wrong idea. I just think it's incredible that you go out and do this, and sometimes you do it alone.
Yeah.
What kind of like when you've told people what you do, what response have you gotten?
Yeah, I've been kind of testing it out lately, and like I told the guy at AT&T what I did, and he was like, "Wow, really?" He was like, "Wow, that's really cool." And I was like, "Is it cool?" Like people are starting to open up to it, and yeah, so it's actually seems to be really exciting to people. So now I'm not hiding it anymore.
It's kind of like the ghost hunting trend, because when I first started running my team, it was a great secret, because you were afraid to tell people because they would think that you're nuts.
Oh yeah.
But then as the TV programs came on, gradually people got more familiar with it, and the next thing you knew, oh yeah, man, I got stuff in my house, or I just bought a meter, I'm going to do this, and so I'm thinking that the more this kind of thing is in the press, the better it is for you, because people are more open to it. People are more open-minded right now.
Yeah, for sure.
You said earlier that you thought that one of your thoughts was that they're peaceful and they probably want to help us. Do you think they're already here on Earth?
I think some of them, yeah. I think a lot of them, I've seen ones that look very just human. You couldn't really tell them apart.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's creepy.
So I think they're like some of these are like our cousins.
Okay. Or the hybrids, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're related to some of them.
I have nightmares about that after what
Really?
happened with me, and getting taken on a ship, and there's like 10 kids that look like me. Yikes!
Oh my gosh!
No. But one of the thoughts I always had, I don't know if you've thought about this, but I mean, maybe because with the Navy and the UAPs and the government and all this, I'm thinking that somewhere along the line they're going to admit that these things exist.
Yeah.
And
they already have, but for some reason people still aren't listening.
And I'm thinking that they're trying to get us ready to deal with it. So like you say, the ones that look more human are probably already here. They could be living next door and you don't know it. So that when this does come down and everything, people start believing it, your neighbor will walk out and go, well, hi, I'm from, blah, 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 blah. And it won't be as shocking because we've already been living with them, in our neighborhoods and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So maybe that's what's going to happen. It's going to kind of gradually put us in. Because, I mean, let's face it, all the stuff on TV, except for like Star Trek, or Star Wars where there's friendly aliens and all this. A lot of the stuff you see on TV, the movies, they're bad. They're coming after us, like V and all those shows. And maybe that like you say, that there are some that probably are nasty. It's like with us, we have our bad eggs in our society too. But the majority are probably real decent folks, and this is what they're trying to do, is they're trying to get us all integrated to the point that we're used to the nice ones, and the bad ones will stay at bay or whatever, so that when it does happen and people start really awakening up to the reality that they're coming, that it's not going to be a horrible thing.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And yeah, I think it's just a part of the process, and people are slowly starting to wake up to it. And just in the past year, from if I would have told people what I was doing a year ago to now, like now people are getting excited about it, so that's good for me. That's good news. And yeah, that's a good sign for sure.
Do you think because they're kind of contacting you through your mind, maybe that's as far as they're going to go with you? Or do you think at some point maybe you have to initiate it? Maybe you have to initiate saying, "Hey, look, I'd like to meet you in person."
I have said that. I have said that, and they were like, I think they told me like in the 2030s. So but I think there's other ways that you could meet with them too, through, I know it sounds strange, but even through like dreams. So I think in one way or another it's going to happen. But face to face, I already asked for that, and they were like, we don't know if you're ready for that yet. But I think we'll get there one day.
Well, that's good. I mean, you hear all these stories about, like you say, people being abducted against their will and stuff. This sounds good for you. It sounds promising.
Yeah.
That there are aliens that'll do that when you're ready. The second what I'm saying is that they could be the guy across the street mowing his lawn could be one for all I know. But that's how they're integrating. So I think it's cool. I think what you're experiencing is really cool.
Thank you.
I really do. And Jerry thinks you're cool too. See, Jerry says it's cool. See.
Thanks, Jerry.
Because I mean, yeah, you always think about that stuff. Just like I say, you're out there with a telescope, stargazing or whatever, and you're thinking, well, one day I'm going to be out here and I'm going to see something weird. That I can't explain. So then what do I do? Well, you're going to be more curious. You're going to want to go back out, see if you can see more weird stuff, and more and more and more and more. And
yeah,
you're, like I said, I admire you. You're very brave for doing it the way you are. And yeah, I said, you have an incredible story.
Thank you so much.
And I think you're so level-headed, and it's just it's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah,
thank you so much.
I'm so glad you came on. I'm real excited. I was real excited to have you on tonight. And like I said, if it's okay, I'm going to touch base, not tonight, but later on, maybe next week sometime, and talk about astrophotography, because I've never done it. I never really. The only thing I've done is star trails. That's as far as I've gotten.
Okay.
But, I'm fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by the things. Now I'm going to be looking up more. I'll be out my back door kind of thinking about the aliens coming.
That's how it starts.
Yeah. They'll be listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing I always wonder too, I read a lot of these things about aliens, and as a paranormal investigator, some of the stuff that people write about when they come back to visit, just like you, I have that picture of that astral being that you got. I wish I would have gotten it up. I thought I did, but I didn't. But that actually looks like some of the astral beings I've gotten when I shot an infrared film.
Oh wow!
And it always makes me wonder now what we're exactly hunting when we go hunt for ghosts, because because it's similar. Like you hear people's reports of them coming through the walls. It gets colder, this and that, and everything, and a lot of it is similar. And maybe it's because they're doing something with the time continuum, or whatever, and it's similar to what ghosts do. Or maybe we're just hunting aliens and we don't know it.
Yeah, I definitely think that once it's like when this door starts opening, it opens other weird stuff starts happening too.
It
I think
does.
it's just very connected, very interconnected, even like Sasquatch and ghosts and aliens. It's all connected.
Sure.
And I think that they do. I remember thinking, and this is before, because I've been fascinated by paranormal stuff. I used to watch Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters and stuff like that. And even though it like spooked me, I always thought it was like really fascinating.
Mhm.
And I remember thinking after these UFOs first started coming, like, how did they just disappear and appear? Did they go into another dimension? And I think that they may be in, yes, other dimensions, like
Sure.
that the ghosts or spirits or other entities or energies are in these other dimensions too, and they kind of just like crisscross over. It's really
Sure. Sure.
really
Sure.
mind-blowing, but yeah, it's very
Absolutely.
connected for sure, very connected.
Absolutely. Well, I know it's late on your end, and I just want to thank you for coming on, and I'd love to have you on again to talk more about this stuff because it's just fascinating. And like I said, I will put all those photos and videos up on the radio site so people can see. You guys can
Mhm.
go over there and check CaliforniaHauntsRadio.com in about an hour, and I'll have them up. But I want to thank you so much for coming on, and I just can't thank you enough.
Awesome. It was wonderful speaking with you.
All right, Lily. Well, you have a good evening. Okay.
Thanks, you too. Take care.
Bye bye. Okay, well, that was an interesting night, and hopefully she sits down with me and teaches me about astrophotography. I think on the Facebook side, people didn't know we were on because it took a couple minutes before I realized something had gone wrong with uh, starting the broadcast on Facebook. But we did come on eventually, and I see some people are coming in the room. Kind of creepy feeling. That's how the day went. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming tonight. Tomorrow is a special night. We usually don't do a show Friday night, but tomorrow is Friday the 13th. And tomorrow is important because psychic Nancy Batts is going to come on and she is going to do online readings with you guys. Okay? So whoever comes in tomorrow for the show, come into the chat room, come in with one question. She's going to do, I think, 2 3-minute readings on each person, so you got to be like really clear and succinct with the question you want. Or you can do something as simple as ask her, you know, who's with you? What deceased relative or friend is with you? You can ask her that question and she'll tell you. But that's what we're going to do tomorrow. So tomorrow is what I call Psychic Reading Friday. So for those of you that come in 6:30 p.m. Pacific, that's what we're going to be doing, and we may stay on for more than an hour. So maybe an hour and a half doing that stuff. We'll see. Okay, we'll see how it goes. But be sure to be here tomorrow. Um, Also, I'm teaching a Ghost Hunting 101 class, and that's going to be on. Let me get my calendar out here so I don't mess it up again. That's going to be on the 21st, and that is going to be a 2-hour class. It's going to teach you how to go into any hotel, whether you're a regular ghost hunter or whether you're just a recreational ghost hunter. That's going to teach you how to go in and get really good results from your EVP, so that you know it's not some guy down the hall talking to his wife or something. It's going to teach you all those kind of skills. You know how not so much sort of look for ghosts, but I mean the procedures that we use as a team, my California Haunts team, where you can apply some of those procedures into just being a recreational ghost hunter. So if you want to learn about that stuff and be able to go out and show your friends, take a vacation to a haunted hotel and do some EVP work and do some quick investigation work and then get some results and show your buddies, this is the class for you. So check that out. On the 28th, we are going to do another class. I'm doing another class, Psychic Development Level 1. And what that is if you feel you have psychic powers or you want to awaken your psychic powers, this will teach you how to do that. It will also teach you how to protect yourself, and you'll also learn how you can go out of body and come back into your body. All right. There's also a door involved with psychic powers, and you open the door to let stuff in, whether it's nice. But the problem is because you open that door, you can let in bad stuff too. So I teach you how to open and close that door so you can control what comes in and out of there. So if you're interested in something like that, that's something for the 28th of May. All right, check it out at our California Haunts meetup, and just type in California Haunts meetup, and you'll go there and you can check all that out. Again, if you're watching from YouTube, please subscribe. There's a little ghost down at the bottom right-hand corner who has a Sherlock Holmes hat on and a magnifying glass, and I'd appreciate if you subscribe because we got more than 240 videos over there, and they're all different topics. Like last night, we were talking about Bon Scott of AC/DC, and the night before, we were talking about hel- helping kids stay out of gangs and things like that. So we like to vary what we talk about here on California Haunts Radio. So I think there's a little bit of something for everybody over at the YouTube site. And also sometimes it's hard to find us, literally for YouTube. So one of the best ways to do that is to go to CaliforniaHauntsRadio.com, and the video on the front will take you to YouTube. So that's pretty much the easiest way. But if you still want to see our archives, that website also houses all our archives for the last 2 years. So check that out. All right. And I like to put a lot of events and stuff over there. But anyway, I want to thank you all for coming tonight. And if you like the show, share it with 5 people. If you hated the show, share it with 5 people. We are equal opportunity here at California Haunts Radio. And also, you see that ticker down on the bottom? That's so I can at least afford a cup of coffee. If you could find it in your heart to buy me a cup of coffee, that would be great. You can do that at paypal.me/California Haunts, or you can go to Venmo and just type in California Haunts because I could sure use that cup of coffee. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Don't forget, we're going to do live readings. Have a good one, and see ya.